Hello, this is Pastor Jay Sorrell for V3 News. Today's date is April the 1st, 2020. I'd like to inform you of a couple events that have impacted our V3 family. First off, rumor had it yesterday that there was a case of COVID-19 that was confirmed in the Vermilion County. I want to let you know that has been confirmed. The Public Health Department of the Vermilion County, the administrator, Doug Toole, has confirmed that on their webpage. So we do have our first case of COVID-19 in the Vermilion County. Want to encourage you to continue to practice social distancing. Wash your hands a whole lot. That would be also a great job to all those that were involved in making Sunday service a tremendous success. Now, many of you don't know this. The previous Thursday, applied social distancing. We had the whole worship team here, and we maintained distance, and we had a practice of 21 songs. Those 21 songs will be incorporated into this mini Sundays that are yet to come that will be on a digital format only. So we want to say thank you so much to the worship team for making that event work and making it happen. Thank you so much for your guys' commitment. Also, on the same note, we want to celebrate those that have started a Facebook, a Bible study, or a chat group, or a discussion group. Thank you so much. Some have started it on their own V3 page. Some have connected us with a personal page that they have been doing. But thank you so much for extending the community of God's love into people's lives. Even though they're socially distant from us, we are still impacting and changing the world. So way to go, V3. And on a sad note, would like to inform you, unrelated to COVID-19, this past week, V3 has experienced 2 losses in our V3 family. Many of you know Sharon and Bill Baker. Bill Baker this past week has passed, and Sunset will be having modified services. We will be having a private session there at the graveside for Sharon and the close family. We would appreciate your prayers. Out of respect to the family, we would like to read the obituary. I would encourage you, for those that know Sharon and knew of Bill, that you would post something on the stream, on a comment section. That will be printed up and given to Sharon as an extension of our concern and extending our condolences. But the obituary reads like this. Bill Baker was born on February 14th in Cayuga, Indiana. He was a son of Auburn and Lola Bell Elliott Baker. He married Sharon Ann Kuntz, and she survives. Bill will be deeply missed by his wife Sharon and children Rodney, Randy, and Rusty Baker, Sherry and Jeff Mays, Dory and Mike Pierce, and Darren and Kimberly Scholl. Sisters Doris, Michael, Judy Hogan, and Susie Fassett. And several grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He was preceded in death by his parents, son Billy Baker, and sister Margaret Wilbur. Bill graduated from Danville High and served in the United States Army. He had his own electrician business for many years and also served in upholstery. He was a member of the Catlin Masonic Lodge and loved to bowl, and that he did. On another sad note, Phyllis Anderson. She had recently moved to St. Joe, and she was involved with the online service. She enjoyed the streaming on Facebook. She often would comment that she was in the house. Phyllis had a battle with cancer, and she passed this past week. And to the family, we extend our condolences. The obituary, as of the recording of this, has not yet been published, but I would like to share a story. Phyllis had connected with the church, and it was springtime, and she wanted to get her garden in. Well, we had a tiller that we had found in the garage. Now, we had found it earlier that winter because the winter snow had fallen, and she called me and she said, "Pastor, I have a snowblower. I'd like you to come get for the church's sidewalks. And I said, yes, Phyllis, it'd be great to do that. So I went over to her house, and it was very cold, and we were digging through the shed, and she said, it must not be in this shed, it must be in the other one. As I opened the door, there was stuff stuffed to the very door. And she says, I think I see it back there in the corner. So I climbed over all this stuff in this shed to get to this snowblower that was going to help us out at the church. And as I worked back there, freezing cold, in the dark, I finally found this apparatus, moved everything out, and as I moved this snowblower out of the shed, Phyllis looked at it and she said, oh my goodness, I thought it was a snowblower. It was dark in the shed, and I had struggled to move a tiller out of the shed. And Phyllis and I will laugh many times about that event. But later on that spring, that tiller came in good use when a couple of gentlemen went over there and tilled it. And she had a wonderful garden that year after a whole lot of planting and a whole lot of working with that soil. So it's just a sweet memory to remember Phyllis by. And in the finance world of V3, we know these are difficult times, and there are many families and home units that are making adjustments for safety and security. Now, we would like to express a special thank you to those of you who have continued and faithfully give online. Thank you so much for those of you that are giving through text, those of you that are giving through the internet, secured spot there. If you need any assistance in setting up an account for giving, please feel free to contact the church office. We will connect you with a tutorial that will help you to have that account set up. And in your V3 weather for the next couple of days, today we will have variable and light winds throughout the day. The temperatures will be as high as 53 down to 36, and there is a 10% chance of rain. Tomorrow it's time to get in your vitamin D. It's going to be a wonderful 42 to 60 degree. It's time to pull up the rake and maybe rake the yard and get ready for that spring growth. Or maybe for some of you, you're like me, it's about time for us to have that first cut of the year. So enjoy tomorrow. Get in that vitamin D because you're going to need it. And as an official response to federal and state suggestions that are quickly becoming enforced guidelines, that V3, it is our commitment to spiritual formation in a community. And we want to base our activities upon wisdom and Scripture. With the advent of our first confirmed case of COVID-19 in the Vermilion County, we want to officially announce that we will be having no more public gatherings in compliance to the CDC. We realize here we have many elderly and those dealing with health issues. So we would not like to ask them to make a decision to be with their V3 family or not. So we have chosen to make a across-the-board decision that all public gatherings for the V3 family discontinued until this ban on social gathering is lifted. And now a word of encouragement. Many years ago, Pam and I, we purchased a wagon, a trailer, that was large enough for cars. Why we purchased that trailer, it's not as if we needed another vehicle or another thing to insure. But at that time, we had 6 teenagers and people in the 20s driving cars. And we knew that those cars were going to break down. And so we actually bought the trailer in preparation of cars breaking down. That trailer, matter of fact, even hooked up an electronic winch. We actually used that trailer several times to get vehicles back home after they had broken down on the road or outside the town or on a freeway. We got the car back home. But in time, the children got better cars and they moved out, or vice versa. The trailer wasn't needed anymore to carry cars. But there were other things that were needed. We needed to take supplies to houses We needed to get supplies from one place to another. There were those in the church that had said, hey, you have a trailer. I need that trailer. So we would let them use the trailer. We had repaired the trailer many times, and it's not as new and fancy as it was when we first got it, because it's been used. You see, the trailer we purchased isn't what it used to be, but it's still functional for what we need it to be. These days are made by God. This is the day the Lord has made. It may not be what we would prefer, but it is still completely functional for those that press into God, find grace, find peace, and with these few moments of being isolated, with these few moments of our life that we have not the liberty we used to have, let's find the strength that we can find in those that know us best, those that we live with. Let's build deeper relationships.